Hello everybody and welcome back to the mission that won't end. This has been one heck of a mission. We're running low on ammo for like everything. There have been a lot of enemies, but we're finally getting very close to the end. I'm going to put our crossbow here and we're going to attempt to put more ammo into this adder. We just have a really hard time hitting over here. Heat is very, very high and we've got like that mineral field is a really good position for them. But we're going to continue to hit this adder. It can't take this for too much longer, but we're very close to being out of ammo. We got a head hit there. I mean, that doesn't really help us though, to be honest.
My mech is overheating.
Yeah, all of the mechs are overheating. Every single one of them. This has been an extraordinarily long mission. The good news is, as we run out of ammo, heat will no longer be a concern for a lot of these mechs anyway. So next up is the Black Knight, where heat will always be a concern, and that is going to continue to fire on this adder. The question is, how is this going to go in terms of heat if we alpha it? Do it. We gotta try. Well, we destroyed the right torso there and got another engine crit, but we didn't destroy the mech?
Watch my heat. Taking damage.
Does that not have an XL engine? How are we getting engine crits then?
Orders.
I have no idea. Well, our Nidhogg needs to disengage. We have dropped all of the bombs that we have. All it's got left is this PPC, and it's got basically no armor. So there's that. I'm not sure what the status of our Demolisher here is going to be. Or rather, our Devastator. That took a very, very tough hit here. Why does this have bomb-guided X4? That's not what's in that. Okay. This took a very tough hit previously, and we'll see what happens. This Turbo Hunchback is running down over here and not actually firing. So that's a good sign for now. Our Ostrock is going to want to move in and start engaging somewhere down over here. This is an interesting position to take here. We have a rear arc and a side arc.
Piece of cake.
And we can fire on this Turbo Hunchback or this Turbo Hunchback. And I think this side arc is a decent one. This is all going to be hitting, basically transferring into the CT or this leg. Seems fine. So we get some damage transferring into the CT on that Turbo Hunchback. Okay, that's fine. We'll see if that gets his attention. And phase 14 is going to be this anvil. Moves up and melees. That would be probably for the worst. The test drive mech must survive, right? So that's a concern here. But we'll see what happens. What are you going to do, Anvil? Also heading down here. Going to fire on the Devastator? Nope, going for the Ostrock. Missing almost everything. I like it. It did manage to tag us, though.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Okay. So next up is going to be our Grasshopper. The Grasshopper cannot really move forward. It can position here, though. And we can pot shot this AC-20. 23% hit chance here. This adder can't keep this up for too much longer, right? Well, if we keep missing the AC-20, it can. I mean, it's only 23% chance, right? But even so, this is getting ridiculous out over here. So at this point, that adder has very little armor left. We've had a really hard time breaking through these clan units, and it feels like we shouldn't. It's just been really, really low hit odds across the board. Turbo Hunchback is going to attempt to fire on this Ostrock and get absolutely nothing done. That seems fine. Next up is our Rifleman, which needs to continue to sprint forward out over here.
Understood. Moving fast.
But we don't get LOS on anything. The LRM carrier is down to just SAM missiles at this point. I kind of want to fire on that Wyvern. It's that or this Turbo Hunchback as the best hit odds. What's the Turbo Hunchback's armor looking like? Wyvern it is. So we're going to be out of SAM missiles here very shortly.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
So there's some additional damage into that Wyvern. And I'm pretty sure our LRM carrier is full on out of missiles. So there's not really too much else it can do. That's noted. Okay. At this point, phase 10 mover. Who is that? This Anvil? Okay. firing on the jerry-rig demolisher. We might have to start pulling that back soon. The frontal armor on that is definitely weakening. I want to take a look at that once we can move it. So we can move it now, and that is... Actually, it's not the frontal armor. It's the left side armor.
I'm receiving
So we want to expose right side here. So that means positioning something kind of like this. Okay, we can definitely do that. So we position like that. We can fire on this anvil or on the wyvern. The wyvern is the best hit odds, and we're going to take that.
May I interest you in melting armor?
Once again, a lot of damage into that wyvern. And the pilot ejects. Beautiful. It's about time. Okay, so we're a third of the way through this force, and this marauder is going to continue to engage up over here. There's only so much more time that this adder can survive. It's not very much more time. That was a lot of armor damage there. But we're still struggling to fire into that mineral field.
Structure.
But yeah, that adder is not doing well.
What do you need?
Next up is our Devastator, which has fired most of its AC-20 ammo anyway. I'm just going to run it away, though. Its armor is very low. We don't really want to continue to risk it if we can help it. Okay, so next up is going to be an allied unit here. That Osprey moves up, fires on the adder, does literally nothing to it. Okay. That mineral field, it's only +3 to the roll, but it's tough to hit them in there. It's kind of wild how tough it is. Of course, we're still trying to advance. Our heat is very, very high, and we're just struggling to get crit rolls at this point, is what it feels like. So that's probably more what's going on. Does this artillery unit actually fire? The answer is no. Okay. It could have output a lot of additional damage, but the adder is going to move now. It's not going to leave the mineral field. It's probably going to go back over here, if I had to guess. So let's see what it does here. We're going to get to move our crossbow X here. So it fires on our grasshopper, and it does use its flamer too, but it didn't move. If it doesn't have ace pilot, then that's a big deal. It didn't. Okay. That is indeed a big deal.
Got my attention.
So we're out of MRMs for our crossbow. That means that we want to position about right here,
Roger.
and we're going to just fire our medium laser backup weapons. Heat is going to start to drop at this point. Okay, we missed both of those. Sad. This guy's just hiding behind this little bit of hill here, and there's not much to that elemental toad. But he could theoretically do quite a bit to us. Some missiles raining into this turbo hunchback, and it actually got a fair number of internal shots there. But not a lot going on overall. Okay. So now the elemental toad pulls back a little bit and fires on our Black Knight. Sure. For now, that's reasonably fine. We would actually like to attack that elemental toad, but maybe not immediately. So we still have some missiles for our crossbow here, and we can absolutely fire them. Heat is a bit up there, but let's see what we've got going on here. That was a lot of armor damage. We broke through the armor on that flank. Slug ammo explosion. The adder's finally gone. Okay, beautiful. So now we just need that elemental toad, and then we can focus on these guys down here. The Orion is doing nothing at all. It's probably out of ammo, if I had to bet. And the Nidhogg is just chilling out here. There's nothing for it to do. We want it disengaged. Okay. Phase 16 is that Archer, firing on the rear arc of this anvil, and it does get a little bit of armor damage there, but that's really not very extensive. Okay. Phase 15, they are going to be moving this turbo hunchback, and I wonder what they're going to do with it. Turn it around and move it this way? It's got 8 evasive right now. They could try to go for our Ostrock with that AC-20. I don't think... I think this outcropping is protecting our Devastator. It's exactly what they did. They went for the Ostrock. Okay, that's good. I like that. Specifically the fact that they missed. That is absolutely
Matter?
excellent. So the Grasshopper is going to position right up over here. I think I'm not going to fire the AC-20 to prevent the heat, but we're going to potshot everything else at the Elemental Toad. Maybe not this medium laser, just so we sink a little heat.
Engaging target.
Okay, we got a couple of hits there. That Elemental Toad is very, very difficult to hit. No doubt about that.
Good to go.
Next up is our Bandersnatch, which does still have a few missiles. I think the Elemental Toad is not the target for that. We could fire on the Turbo Hunchback. Hit odds are going to be best on this Turbo Hunchback. We'll take it.
Got it.
We're going to be out of ammo very, very shortly here. That's some decent amounts of internal damage there. I expect that's all transferring over into CT armor, though. Yes.
Yes, Commander.
Okay. So the Rifleman is going to move as far forward over here as it can.
Acknowledged.
It's getting close to being able to back up over here, but we're not quite there yet.
What's up,
The Ostrock could position somewhere up over here and go for like the Turbo Hunchback. That is slightly dangerous for it. This might actually be a slightly better position out over here. But this does have 3 evasive to it. So I think we're going to take
Move into
this position. And we'll fire on the Turbo Hunchback. If we hit this well, the Turbo Hunchback will die to this. But if we don't, it won't. Mediocre. But it died. Beautiful. So that was good enough.
Orders?
The Black Knight is going to continue to want to advance here. I kind of want to not sprint it, though. The main problem is I think that we just need to not fire, like, the large lasers here. Just fire the mediums and the medium pulses and sink heat. Okay, so that's a unit destruction on the Elemental Toad. 2 units remain. Beautiful. So there's not much left on the Elemental Toad at this point. Yeah, totally, there's 50 armor and 50 HP. 4 medium lasers would do the trick. The Anvil is very likely to attack the Ostrock. In this case, our evasive served us well. But that's not necessarily a guarantee. And then he ejected? What? Okay. He still had a lot of hit points there. Now, the Devastator still has precision AC-20 ammo. I don't want to move it yet.
Receiving you.
I'm going to have this Marauder start to turn around and head this way. We'll have it sink heat this round.
Moving to position.
I don't think we need all of these mechs to deal with this Elemental Toad.
Stand
So,
by.
the Devastator, I want to reserve.
Copy that.
I want to see what this Anvil is going to do. This Turbo Hunchback is the one that has the working AC-20. But let's see what this guy does. Okay. So that positioning is mildly awkward. It's not...
Command, I'm taking some hits.
It's not amazing for us. I would have preferred it if he had gone, like, right here, but he didn't.
Commander?
So the idea here is our jerry-rig Demolisher is going to start heading its way down.
Roger that.
We'll just position it here for now. And then our LRM carrier, it does actually still have incendiary ammo. So I'm going to fire that on this Anvil, which does have a considerable amount of laser weaponry. Excellent. So we soften up its armor in that side arc a little bit and add some heat. Beautiful.
Ready for orders.
Now, this Devastator. I really don't like that position. I was hoping it'd be able to get to, like, here. We could protect its left side by doing this,
Looking out.
but this feels slightly greedy. The idea here is I'd like to bring it in and backstab these guys, but I'm not sure we get the chance. So they're attacking this Anvil. They're going to get very little done there. There's only the 2 units remaining over here now. So this turbo hunchback has the exposed in the left side or the right side. Either way, the ammo is probably in there or the weapon. So either way, it would be good. This is in the right side. That's where the AC-20 is. Okay, beautiful. So phase 20, yep, there's going to be this artillery piece moving. I would love it if it would actually fire on something, but it doesn't. Okay, phase 19 is going to be the volley support vehicle, and then after that, we're going to see the elemental totem. It positions there. And shoots at our grasshopper. Okay. For the time being, that seems fine.
Orders.
The crossbow X is going to move up over here. And we're going to pot shot the medium lasers. It's still only 20% hit odds.
Your own fault.
Okay. We did not, in fact, succeed. 20% hit odds is not great, right? So it's very tough to hit this. Allied unit is going to move now. That's that archer. Does it still have ammo? It does. It's firing on that turbo hunchback. It got basically nothing done there. Okay. Our Nidhogg is doing nothing.
Holding and cooling.
And our rifleman wants to get into position to help out over here. It's just not quite there yet, sadly.
I hear
Okay.
ya.
The Bandersnatch does still have a little bit of LRM-5 ammo left. So I'm going to fire that on this turbo hunchback, and we are going to crit fish inside of that torso. But it's only going to be 5. I'm not expecting much out of that. A little bit of damage there, but yeah. That's about what I expected. So next up is our LRM crossbow, which does still have some missiles.
On the move.
Once again, I'm going to crit fish this, I think. If we can destroy that AC-20, that's a very big deal.
Roger that.
Sadly, we did not.
Taking heat damage.
Okay. So next up is going to be an ally unit, the Orion, that doesn't have missiles
Ready
remaining.
for orders.
Our Grasshopper, I would like... I don't love this positioning, but if we don't fire the
Got it,
AC-20, it's probably not the biggest of deals. Yeah, something like
Firing
that.
at enemy six.
We mostly stray-shotted the crossbow there. I figured that would happen,
My armor's
and that's
still
why
solid.
we didn't fire the AC-20. Okay.
Good to
Next
go.
up is our Ostrak. The Ostrak has taken a fair amount of damage. I want to pull it back a bit from where it is, for sure. I'm thinking about maybe having it be out over here, presenting the right side,
Understood.
like this.
Moving
And then we shoot at this anvil. Overheat warning is fine here. Little bit of internal damage into that anvil there. Only 1 internal damage, but we'll take it.
My heat sinks can't vent fast enough. I'm taking
Okay,
damage.
next up is our Black Knight, which doesn't really... Actually, it does have a good spot to go. We'll go right here, and we pot shot everything on this elemental totem. We could easily kill it here. But we didn't. We did 28 damage. I mean, the elemental toad doesn't have all that much left, but it's very difficult to hit. It has 15 total armor and 50 HP, so 65 total HP at this point. The anvil moves up, fires on the Ostrak, which is unsurprising. Structure exposure on that strong side is slightly surprising, though. Did I face it the wrong way? I might have.
Internal damage.
No, okay, it's just in this arm. The arm's probably fine. There's nothing in the arm, and that'll be okay.
Yes, Mom.
The LRM carrier has no weapons remaining. There's nothing to do.
I shall keep my heat down.
And now it's going to be this turbo hunchback moving. So we'll see what it does. Move down here to engage the Devastator. Move up here to engage the Ostrak. It's the latter. It managed to get the AC-20 into that arm, but for the moment the Ostrak is okay. We don't need it intact, we just need it to survive.
I'm here.
Okay, the jerry-rig demolisher is going to position right here, and we're going to flank this turbo hunchback right in its weak flank, and we're going to crit fish with these machine guns. Two engine crits there, but sadly we did not take out the AC-20. But it doesn't have much left. So this Marauder is... I mean, we could move it up and continue to engage the elemental toad here.
Let's move.
We're probably going to hit the crossbow X's arm. Is there anything in that arm we care about? An MRM-20. Let's give it a go. I think we hit literally nothing there. Okay, that's fine. So next up is our Devastator. The idea behind the Devastator right now... Hang on, what was this spot? In its current position, it has LOS. We could position it out over here, presenting the right side. And we have stray shot potential here. So we can fire on the Turbo Hunchback, firing our precision AC-20s, and we very well may stray shot. They're in a nice line there. Ooh, that was a really good shot. The Hunchback was taken down from that, and I believe we also managed to stray shot the Anvil here. Confirmed. We definitely did. So the Elemental Toad is moving back a bit and firing on the Black Knight. For the moment, that's fine.
Showing minor damage.
Okay. Our allies are going to be kind of wasting time at this point because they don't really have anything to contribute from down there anymore. I think a couple of them still have LRMs, but not much, to be honest. Okay, so next up is our Bandersnatch, which does still have 5 LRMs, or rather 10 LRMs, and we're going to lob those at this anvil.
Here we go.
Not getting very much done there, but that's okay. Cool. So the anvil is going to be moving in phase 14. Noted. The archer doing a little bit of damage to it there. This archer also firing on the anvil there. Getting some internal damage. I don't mind that. Next up is our Crossbow X. And the Crossbow X is going to be closing into ideal range here for these medium lasers. Still only a 24% hit chance. Units 2 out of 5, size delta, enemy effects, sensors impaired. It's very difficult to hit these elemental tools. But we did hit one. Beautiful. So at this point, there's only so much left, right? These elemental toads can't do too much. There's 12 units of armor and 46 units of HP left. The Nidhogg's not going to do anything for the moment.
Orders?
The Grasshopper wants to position somewhere around here. Do we fire the AC-20 at this point? It's a clear shot. Let's take it. That's a unit destruction there. Was that 2 unit destructions? No. Okay. Lack of damage transfer with these is one of the things that makes it so hard. But this only has a couple hit points left. Beautiful. So at this point, our other crossbow is going to turn around here.
Location confirmed.
And we're going to lob some missiles at this anvil. That's the only place where we have any measurable hit odds.
Target.
Okay, a little bit of damage there. That'll be fine. So next up, of course, is going to be our Rifleman. And the Rifleman can position somewhere around here. That's an obstructed LOS. I kind of want to move it forward a little further and position it here. And just take this side arc attack. And this Rifleman is still pretty fresh. Light him up.
Confirmed.
Good damage into that leg. We did make the anvil unsteady there, and he's panicked. So that's a good sign, but he gets to move instantly, which is unfortunate. What's he going to do? Steps forward, goes for the jerry-rig demolisher. He hits literally everything there, but he didn't penetrate the armor. So he's dead.
Heavy hits, Commander.
Beautiful. That is absolutely fine. Next up is our Marauder, and I'm going to position the Marauder here. And we're just going to pot shot this elemental toad. One hit of anything. And he's pretty much dead. There we go. He's just gone. Fantastic. So we finally got rid of the clan units.
Over the red line. Damage.
And now we just need these last couple Word of Blake units. Couple of hits on that anvil, and they did sensor lock him, removing 2 evasive hits. So that is a convenient thing for us. Cool.
Ready for order.
Next up are Devastator moves. This is a very long-range shot, but it's still 44.7%. Let's take it.
Got the angle. Taking the shot.
We hit one of those shots. That's worth it. Beautiful. So next up is our Black Knight. The Black Knight can turn around and start heading down this way. It doesn't have LOS on anything anymore, so it doesn't need to fire.
Yes,
And the Osprey is, at this point, going to walk in, and we're going to melee this from the rear arc if we can. Yes, from here. Do it. 82.6%, this anvil's probably dead. Or at the very least, in a world of hurt. Okay, he is gone. Well, that
Mission successful.
was a heck of a mission. That took us a long time to get through. It feels like it shouldn't have, but it was so hard to break into that mineral field. The main problem there, I think, boiled down to the Chameleon's engine meltdown. That was really, really unfortunate. We got like no crits up until suddenly engine meltdown. And it just took us a really long time to work through those clan units. They used that mineral field very effectively. As far as the Word of Blake units, honestly, they got kind of routed by 3 vehicles. That didn't go well for them. But that went reasonably well for us. Honestly, we didn't take all that much damage. It took a long time. This Ostrock we don't care about. It is not ours. And everyone else is in pretty decent shape. Broadly. So yeah, I think that went pretty well, all things considered. But it was awkward. It was definitely awkward. So what are we interested in taking here? We could just take a ER large laser, large pulse lasers, 2 of them. That's actually an interesting thing to take. We might go for that. 4 Streak SRM2s. If those were slightly bigger. There's a lot of good salvage here. Couple of double heat sinks, prototype double heat sink. Yeah, let's confirm this and we'll just see what we get from the roulette. There's a lot of good roulette things here. Generic armor, ferrofibrous armor. Oof, that is not great. Okay, well, salvage wasn't our overall goal here anyway, so that's okay. We got a good amount of cash from it. We didn't take that much damage. We just threw a lot of shots downrange that just ended up getting almost nothing done. Was the unfortunate reality of that one. I mean, on the one hand, I think we were night fighting, which we know is a weakness of ours. There's also the mineral field. That was really tough. The mineral field was the main problem there. And I believe that elemental toad might have been ECM jamming us as well. And if that's the case, that explains it all. Regardless, we got there. We didn't lose any units or any weapons. We didn't even take any significant damage. So that's great. Very pleased with how that played out, except for the time factor. The time factor was lengthy. That's for sure. Go ahead and get that done, Yang. It'll take 16 days for the repairs. The Epimetheus will be back by then. Well, the good news is after that one, I'm not going to have to record RogueTech for a couple of days. The bad news is I'm not going to remember where we are, but luckily this is pretty self-explanatory in this position, so that should be fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.